Yo, what up guys, MC here, 120 here, and today I am back for another Minecraft video, and today we're going to be looking at the Mekanism 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times ore processing. Now, I don't know if I will put stamps on screen now or if I'll just put it in the description, but you can skip throughout the video to see if you want the 2 times or 3 times or 4 times. I'll probably only put the 3, 4, and 5 times processing because I'll not only explain, the actual machines, but I'll actually explain the gases, how they work, and how you have to get them, because there is a long process in the 4 and 5 times processing that you need to go through. But yeah, if you want more Mekanism tutorials, I am going to be planning to do one about the energy and about either the gases or fluids. I'm not too sure, but just a ton of different multi-blocks and different energy stuff because it's such a cool mod. But there will be one rule throughout this entire video or series or whatever. I'm only going to be using Mekanism blocks. So like, for example, I have applied logistics, I have railcraft, I have a whole bunch of stuff that can make it a lot easier, but let's just assume that you only want to use Mekanism, or you only have Mekanism, then this is pretty much the best process that you can do with using that, or just Mekanism. So with that being said, let's get started. Now we're just going to start off here and work our way up. So obviously this is the elite smelting factory. Now all these machines have speed upgrades in them and are elite, but you can automate this with certain like the logistical supporters, but those are we're not going to be talking about automating today. That's a whole other video in itself. But just do keep in mind that these all have speed upgrades in them and that they're elite machines. So if you really want to craft it, I want to know how to craft it, you have all of the recipes, in the NEI or whatever you're using for it. So obviously we start with the regular smelting factory. Let's just grab an iron ore. Whoops. Ah, shoot, I forgot about this. This is gonna lag, isn't it? Yep, yeah, and it's lagging. Just give it a quick second. Should load in yet. There we go. Right, let's go ore. Let's just grab some iron ore. Now the 7 ores. Now obviously in the first step you can pretty much smelt anything. This is just a regular smelter. But from here on there are only 7 ores that you can use this processing for. So if we go over here, we can go to dust. You can see these are here, all the regular. No, these are dust from other mods. Right. So we have iron dust. Alright, that's not just dust. This is all the ores you could use. Iron, gold, osmium, copper, tin, silver, lead, and oh yeah, lead. Yeah, that's it. These are the 7 different things you can use. If you have the mod Another One Bites the Dust, then you have like aluminum, tungsten, stuff from other mods. Especially like Applied Logistics. I know Galacticraft, there's a few in there. They'll really help you out. So this is right. I totally forgot. Let's grab a stack of iron ore. And by the end of today, we're gonna try to process this entire stack. Now let's go here. Let's work out like this. So let's go 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Actually, no. Let's just go. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Let's just go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll see how many ingots we get out of each one. Now, regular process. Ingot is done out here. That's pretty much what you have to do. Obviously, that's pretty self-explanatory. Next, we have an elite enriching factory. You put it in, and you get 2 bits of iron dust. And you put the iron dust into smelting, and you get 1 ingot for each of the pieces of dust. So that's 2 that you just got for 1. This is pretty much the one that most people use. Well, actually, the most people use is probably the 4 times. That's pretty much the most efficient if you think about it. But this is pretty much the most widespread because a lot of people don't really know the other processes. So if you're up to this part, you probably already know here. But now we're gonna move on to the big boy steps, because you need not only a smelting and enriching, but you need a smelting, enriching, crushing, and purifying. And this is where the gases come in. So with all these processes, you're gonna need different types of gases. Now the purifying factory. Oh, and also another thing to note, every different layer requires the layers previously. So for an example, for tier 2, you obviously need tier 1. For tier 3, you need tier 2. For tier 4, you need tier 3. That's how it works. So when you do one tier, it doesn't mean, oh, for the next one you have to completely start over. You just need to add a few more machines, and it's already the same. So when you start out here, when you have an elite purifying factory, you need oxygen to make it run. Obviously, you can either put the oxygen tank inside of here, or just run it around through using a cable. Now, how do you get oxygen? We go to this part. This is also actually the tier 4 unit, but oh, actually, I wanted to do this for so long. Ah, that's nice. Oh my god, it's still falling. Oh my god, what the hell? Oh my god, yeah, I did not expect that to be so much. Right, anyways. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Right, so if you go over here, right, ignore this part. You're going to need an electrolytic separator. Now, this is something that you need for all Mekanism gases, not just this. So this is obviously, this is pretty much something that you're going to probably have to make regardless, especially for everything else, because in all the other steps, you're going to need this as well. So electrolytic separator, we're not going to be going through crafting recipes. I'll just show you how to set it up. Now, you have the separator here to form where if you put water inside this, so what it does is you put a liquid inside and it separates the liquid into two different gases. So you put water inside of here, you get hydrogen and oxygen. Now normally it will give you two gases and you only need one, but with this one we actually need the hydrogen as well. So if you don't need it, you could just dump it out, dump excess, or just dump it all. But obviously, you can see oxygen. This is, this isn't working right now because the hydrogen is completely full. But obviously, you could use a Mekanism pump, fill it up with some energy, and obviously gives you water. Now, remember, guys, if this process is not working for you, it means that one of the configurations is not right. For example, if we grab let's just go over here. If you grab a configurator, you can look at each side what the configuration is. Actually, not with this one. This one doesn't really have it. This one I have it? Right. So over here, for an example, if you want to automate it, you can see each side has its own configuration. This is input. This is nothing. This is output. That has its own configuration. The back is usually energy, so this is energy. So yeah, the electrolytic separator does not have one, but certain things like the chemical infuser has it. Even the pumps, so you can see the pumps. This is input, or is it input? I don't know. I can't really tell which is which right now. But if something isn't working, it means that your input is not right. Now, so obviously the electrolytic separator separates into hydrogen and oxygen. You put the oxygen into a tank, or you can just connect this directly to the purification chamber. Now you can see this, the pressurized tubes are what you use to transfer the gases. So you put the oxygen out into a tank, or again just to connect it directly. This is the same thing with oxygen, and you feed it into here. Now remember, make sure that this is on input. If it's not on input, it's not going to work. If it's not working, one of the likely reasons is that one of your inputs is wrong. It can either be energy or input or output or whatever. So obviously you go over here, you put 1 bit of iron ore, and you get 3 bits of iron clumps. Then you put the iron clumps into, oh, this is the purifying, what am I doing? And you put the iron clumps into the crushing factory, and it crushes it all the way into dirty iron dust. Put the dirty iron dust into the enrichment factory, and it gives you regular iron dust, just like where we left off in the tier 2. And dirty iron dust goes into 3 iron ingots. Now this is the tier 3 processing. If you're first starting out, this is the one I would most recommend. Now, the electrolytic separator does take quite a while, so obviously the first thing you would do is probably use the ×2 processing, because that's pretty easy. But once you already have quite a bit of stuff, then I'd say tier 3 is probably the way to go. Now, if you've already been, playing for a few days here and there, or quarantine, just play for a few hours, then you're obviously ready to go to the tier 4 processing, which you're going to need a lot more stuff. As you can see, this is a thermal evaporation chamber. Now, for the machines, you're going to need the same things: smelting, enriching, crushing, purifying, and now you're going to need an injecting factory, or an ejection chamber, or a lead injecting factory. And the gas you need here is hydrogen chloride. Now, this process is a little bit longer, so I'll just try to speed it up. Pretty much, this thermal evaporation is this is a multi-block, a thermal evaporation chamber. What is it? It doesn't need any energy. I mean, it does, but not directly. So you have water. It takes the water and it heats, using this chamber. This is the heat, how much heat it is. It turns it into brine. Now, if you put brine into here, it'll turn into lithium, which you need for a Mekanism reactor. But whatever, you can put a few other liquids in here, I think. But the main thing, obviously, you put water, it turns into brine. Now, another one of the main things is you need heat. Now, if we go to the back, pretty much, if you want just a quick tutorial how to make it, this is the absolute minimum that you could have it. Pretty much, you need 4 times 4 on the floor. You're gonna need obviously the thermal evaporation blocks, 1 controller, and you're gonna need. Now, some people like to have just a valve for the brine and just a valve for the water, because they get the heat from solar panels. But I like to have it like this. So you have 4 times 4 on the ground, and then you could have thermal evaporation controller, and you can have a thermal. And now the valves doesn't really matter where it goes. You can have one here and one here. So this is gonna be for brine, this for water, and I'm gonna like to put one for heat, or here. You can have 2. It doesn't really. You have as many as you want. It just whatever you configure it as, that's what it will be used for. And then obviously you can see if you put it down, it still says incomplete, because you need to put another layer on top. And and boom, now it's complete. It will start out to already, since we're technically inside of a sand biome, it's going to start heating up by itself. Now, what some people like to do is they make it a little bit. Now, you can make this way higher. You can put this to, I'm pretty sure 18 blocks high is the maximum. But what some people do is they take solar panels and put it like this. So you take advanced solar panels, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it gives it a lot more heat, but I don't like to do that because there's two other, or I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can add heat, but this is one of my favorite ways. Now you have the ultimate, or just thermodynamic conductors. These are the cables that transfer units of heat. Now if you use a fuel wood heater, this is pretty self-explanatory. Just take coal or wood or anything like that, put it inside of here, and it will turn it into heat. And this is what transfers the heat inside of the thermal evaporation chamber. But this is way more effective. A resistive heater, you see, you can configure to how much energy this uses. You can either put 100 joules or just 1 joule. You can put as much as you want. You put 999999999. This is practically impossible. It uses almost 4 gigajoules worth of energy. If you want to see just how much energy this wastes using the Mekanism units, which is joules, this is using it. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, this doesn't even do it justice. If you just put it straight inside of here. Yeah, and it's not even, it's going down. It's not even completely filled up. So yeah, if you're gonna use this, I recommend you put it on around 10 kilojoules or something of that. Or even if you're just first starting out, probably just use the fuel wood heater. And yeah, and obviously just a pump for water. And yeah, so to transfer fluids, you're going to need ultimate, or not even ultimate, just mechanical pipes. Again, you are going to need a special configuration for this. As you can see, if you use the configurator, you can configure this. This is just normal. This won't do anything. This puts brine back into it, which obviously you don't want. You want it to pull. Obviously, you have to shift right-click the end. This turns to say you want it on pull. It'll pull the brine out. Now, use the mechanical pipes, regular, or, basic, advanced, or whatever you want. And you're going to have to put that into an electrolytic separator just like the one over here. Now you're going to need 2 of these and a chemical infuser. So you have one electric separator, one electrolytic separator for hydrogen, one for chlorine. Now you put the chlorine into, put the brine inside of here. It turns into sodium and chlorine. Obviously this is a full. So normally this will make sodium, but you don't need this at all for this process. So you could just dump all of that. And the chlorine goes into the right side of the infuser because it's facing this way. Right side chlorine, left side hydrogen, and it gives you hydrogen. Chlorine goes into hydrogen chloride, which is exactly what you need for this. Now again, you can either connect this directly or use the tanks. So remember, if you're using the tanks, you have to make sure that the configuration is, is right. Because look, for example, let's say this is empty. You put the tube and you put the tank just like this, it won't transfer anything. You can either place the tank this way, which will transfer it, or you could use, this or whatever, or you could just right click on it and do all the configurations like this, whatever. Just make sure eject is on. Now, this is obviously 4 times processing, so let's put 1 piece of ore. This will turn 1 ore into 4 shards. Again, this works the same with osmium and gold and all the 7 ores I showed you before. Put them into purifying. I will give you again 4 bits of iron clumps. 4 iron clumps in the crusher turns into 4 bits of iron dust. 4 iron dust goes into 4 dirty iron dust goes into 4 iron dust, and 4 iron dust goes into 4 iron ingots. Now, if you've made it up to here, let's say you've ever played on a modded server, a war server, anything like that, no one ever goes past this because the tier 5 processing is, a lot of people see it as very inefficient, cost efficient if you're on a server, energy inefficient, because you just go through so many different stages that it's just not worth it to go past that. But if you're in a single player world, you got all the time in the world, why not just go for it? Now this is a tier 5 processing. Now again, every tier up to this, you could use for the tier ahead. So for example, this is the tier 4 processing. All of this just gives you what you need for, this. So whenever that's done, you just put the crystals into here. But whatever, we'll look at it. So if you just take it straight, if you just use the ore straight out of it, you put an ore inside of here, and you're gonna need sulfuric acid, and it will turn into an ore slurry. However, before we get into this, you're probably wondering how the hell you get sulfuric acid. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's actually quite a long, very uneasy process, which starts all the way from here. Now, first thing you'll need is a chemical oxidizer, and I just broke it, which is a very, very unclever thing to do. Why did I just break it? I don't know. Let's actually grab some speed upgrades so it works super efficient as well. Oh shoot, I forgot how you place this. Right, chemical oxidizer. Let's put this inside of here. Now what this is going to do is it'll take regular sulfur. Now if you're wondering how you get sulfur, you're already at an advantage because you make sulfur in the chemical injection chamber just with gunpowder. So pretty much this exact same process, just put gunpowder in here and you get sulfur. Now if you take sulfur out and put it inside of here, and you need energy as well. I totally forgot about that. I'm using ultimate energy cubes, by the way. I mean creative energy cubes, what am I talking about? Right, this will take the sulfur and turn it into sulfur dioxide, as you can see over here. Sulfur, yeah, this is something else. Sulfur into sulfur dioxide. Now this is just going to speed it up, whatever. And the sulfur dioxide goes into another chemical infuser just like over there, but instead of hydrogen and chlorine, you have oxygen, which you also get from the electrolytic separator. You have oxygen and sulfur dioxide, which over here. Now obviously this is automatically going, so you don't see it. This is taking the sulfur dioxide and the oxygen, turning it into sulfur trioxide, as you can see over here. I'm pretty sure, no, yeah, right. Oh no, not even this. It's right. Oxygen and sulfur dioxide, it goes into sulfur trioxide. Now, over here, you're going to need another chemical infuser for sulfur trioxide and a water vapor. If you don't know, if you've ever taken chemistry in your class. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're wondering, the chemical, thing for this, you have 2 sulfurs and a sulfur and 2 oxygens, and another oxygen gives you 3 oxygens, which is what this is. I don't know. I just wanted to note that out because I'm taking chemistry right now. Anyways, oh my god, or whatever. You already know this process. Take a pump into a rotary condenser. This just converts water vapor or water liquid into water vapor. You switch it around if you want it to go back, but obviously we're going to switch it to this way. So you want water vapor, which is the gas version of water. Just use a pump, and again use pressurized tubes. Remember using the right tubes for everything, because for an example, pressurized tube is for gases, mechanical tubes is for liquids, thermodynamic conductors is for heat, logistical or for items, I guess, for you, whatever. You already know, bro. I don't have to explain it again. Anyways, right, you have the chemical infuser, sulfur trioxide, and water vapor finally gives you sulfuric acid. Now the sulfuric acid goes into the chemical dissolution chamber, which is where we start our very next process. Now, you put the last bit of ore that you have into the chemical dissolution chamber, and that went way too fast. Let me try it again. Over here, let's go take it like this. If you put, alright, it already has that. If you take one bit of ore and put it into here, it will turn it into an iron slurry. This is literally just a liquid version of iron, not molten, but it's a very, very, very sludgy version of iron. It has rocks in it, dirt, a lot of nasty stuff. Obviously that's not ingots. You're gonna put it into a chemical washer, and obviously the iron slurry, let's just speed down so you can see it. But pretty much the iron slurry goes into here, which it's actually a gas, so you need pressurized tubes. Iron slurry goes into here, combined with water and energy, goes into a clean iron slurry, as you can see, or osmium slurry. You could literally do this with any of the 7 ores: gold slurry, copper slurry, tin slurry, silver, osmium, or lead, whatever. And then you put that clean slurry into the chemical crystallizer, and it gives you 5 crystals. Now obviously it went way too fast, so I'll put it again. Let's put 1 into here, and this processes it, and does it go? Alright, it needs energy, right? Put that into there, then it will process. Oh man, it goes so fast. But yeah, anyways, as you can see, it's processing the iron into 5 crystals, and then you just go throughout the same exact process. Go 5 crystals like this, and it gives you shards, and obviously the shards turn into clumps, and then the clumps turn into dirty iron dust. Oh my god, this is such a long process. Dirty iron dust into iron dust, and then iron dust into ingots. That's how you get the 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, and then 1 time to ore processing. Now guys, remember, this was used solely with Mekanism machines, and this was the simplest process. Well, actually, the simplest process would be all of these regular basic, not even basic factories, just the original version of their machines. This could be super basic. You don't need the ultimate machines. You don't need the ultimate cable or the elite machines. You don't need the ultimate cables. You don't need the ultimate gas tanks. You can use basic everything, regular machines. You can do as simple as you want. But obviously, who just wants to go completely simple when you have all this stuff? But yeah, anyways, that's it for today. as you can see over there, I am planning the next tutorial, which is going to be the Mekanism energy. You know, you guys can't even see that was a little sneak peek, but you can't see anymore. Anyways, yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.